gonna be a good president?
To begin with, I don't. For one thing, I don't think he could be a good president. I think it's just like Jimmy Carter. He could fall into the Jimmy Carter, you know, abyss. Because Jimmy Carter, you know, he went to Annapolis. He is a nuclear engineer. He micromanaged everything. He was so intrigued, and so I mean, he was so over involved that nothing was accomplished, and that's why the inertia never ever worked out. Now, Trump, he seems to think because I'm chairman of the board and you're fired, that you know things get done. It takes middle management, lower management, upper management. It takes people on the floor. I'm a waiter. You know, I'm on the floor. If I don't know what I'm doing, you know, how am I making my money? Because if I don't make my money, my boss doesn't make her money, and she doesn't make her money, the government doesn't make his money. It flows up. It's not trickle down. It's a flow up. Mr. Trump seems to have an idea that everything is like his way or the highway, which is okay if that's it. It seems to work for him. It seems to work for him, which is okay with me. But it doesn't work for the 250 other million people who live in this America that have to work every single day. And I'm not saying he doesn't work, because I'm sure he does, because I feel confident he does. But you can't, like, you know, chop off the head and then leave the tail wagging. And I don't. That's a metaphor that you're gonna have to figure out on your own, because it makes sense to me. And at the same time, just remember, he was born rich. He's an immigrant. I mean, his parents, they moved here. You know, I mean, it's not. He shouldn't really play that immigrant card, because it's really kind of politically disastrous, and at the same time, it's kind of racist, actually, because it doesn't make a bit of sense to me. My mother's side of the family, they came here in 1740. I mean, that's before America was America. You know, I mean, he came over here on a little raft. Well, that's overstating it, but you know, you get the idea. But within the same context, his father, you know, he's an immigrant, and he's wanting to throw him out. That's asinine and anti-American, and I cannot appreciate that. That's why I kind of like Jeb Bush. He fell in love with Columba, and in Mexico, he learned it. He knows it. He knows Mexican fluently. You know, it's not like to say, "Oh my, I'm like so pro-Mexican." I don't think he is. He's pro, I love my wife. You know, I think that's more important. I love my wife. That's who I fell in love with. She just happens to be a Mexican. You know what? She comes to America. She's Americanized. You know, she's an immigrant. Oh, golly bum. Is she one of those crazy rapist killers? You know, she's an immigrant. She came over. She was in love. He was in love. The Bushes, they fell in love with her. She's an integral part of their family. That is the whole totality of the entire country. We integrate. We love each other. We don't try. I mean, you know, do I want to hate people? You don't want to hate. Mm-hmm. You want. I'm not saying you got to go out there and hug and kiss and love everyone, but within the same context, let's just appreciate each other. You know, he fell in love with a woman. He didn't even know. He didn't know Spanish, which I find so intriguing. He learned Spanish because Jeb Bush, that is, fell in love with this woman. That to me is beautiful, and that to me is true love. He fell in love, and he learned the language because he wanted to talk to her. That's what I want. That's what I want all Americans to want. I'm not saying we all need to fall in love with each other, because that's just, well, for one thing, it sounds incestuous and creepy. But at the other side, it's okay. We all have our differences. I'm not going to like everyone. Obviously, Mr. Trump doesn't like a lot of people, but that's okay with me. It doesn't mean I have to vote for him, but it doesn't mean I have to vote for someone just to be spiteful. It means I have to vote my conscience and my will and my ideas and my principles, which may not include him. It may include someone that you've never heard of before, because that's my life. I don't try to be, a perfect person, but I try, and all you can do is try. I try. And that's all I can say. I try.